Was the Afghan government corrupt? What was this? Was this whole dealings in Doha was to give them better weapons? You can't help but laugh when the journalists were asking Taliban about women's rights, wearing a burqa herself, that lady from the CNN, yes, and all that. Yeah. Excuse me. So your main question is: was the US-backed Afghan government corrupt? Of course, it was. I mean, there is plenty of evidence out there. Many articles have been written about this, about the corruption that you had in the Afghan government, whether it was under Mr. Hamid Karzai or whether it was under Mr. Ashraf Ghani. It is well known and well documented that Afghan MPs, members of parliament, were regularly taking out plane loads of cash, US dollars, out of Afghanistan to the tune of several $billion per year. This was all US aid money that was flowing into Afghanistan. So all this was happening. That money was being transported out of the country. It was being stashed in bank accounts elsewhere, and so on. So yeah, it is well known. There were many scams. There were many real estate scams. There was a lot of diversion of money. Many MPs and leaders had these palatial homes which they lived in. They were able to acquire that sort of money, and so on. So it is well known that the Afghan government, the US backed Afghan government, was quite corrupt. It is well known. And it is, we also know that the Americans were quite aware of this, and this is the modus operandi, whenever the US have propped up a puppet regime anywhere, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Pakistan, whether it is in various African countries, whether it was in South Korea initially. These were all dictatorial regimes and extremely corrupt regimes. The Pakistani regime, the Pakistan army, has been propped up by the US for many decades, and we know how corrupt they are. So yes, the Afghan government was quite corrupt. It is not me who is saying this. There are so many articles that have been written about this. It's all out in the open. There is even this allegation that Mr. Ashraf Ghani himself tried to take millions of dollars out of the country when he fled from the country. That is a claim that has been made. I don't know if it has been proven, but that has also been written about in the past 2 or 3 days. So I think it's quite clear that this government was corrupt. It was designed to be corrupt. That's the only way you can prop up a regime that doesn't have support at the ground level. So yes, it was corrupt.